very important. They saved the counter pick for Fenix, which was supposed to be how they have control and which they use to win a lot of their series.
Yeah.
But that didn't work out for them, so I'm very curious to see what game number 2 holds in store.
Well, the run back might be beginning here. CLG start off with the same 2 bans. There's Shen and Talia, Siva and Karma will be the shift there for Team Liquid. Vladimir going to keep it the same here for CLG though.
And Karma is a key adaptation, right? This is something that they used to really kind of bully in the early game, and they were able to pick on this 2v2 lane a little bit, which allowed Aphro to roam to support his teammates when they had been chunked out. That's something that could have snowballed the game for TL, if Dardoch was able to contest at that red buff, if he's able to take things like this away, but he couldn't because they had the bot lane advantage and Aphro helped out.
Ooh, the Syndra ban even. Huhi gets respect from Team Liquid here. And we'll see what the first pick is. The Rek'Sai is definitely available. The Gragas is available. Those have been traded. And I feel like both teams feel very comfortable to trade jungle picks. So I don't think that'll be early on in the draft phase. And there it is again, Darshan. We said it. He's been picking this every series versus Team Liquid, even in the Week 8 one, blind picking it into Lourlo, who's a guy that's known for Aurelia. It's a bold move from CLG. Paid off last game. See if it pays off this game.
It definitely did pay off. And it's something that you always kind of get a little bit nervous or frustrated about because for Aurelia, you have to all-in Gnar to take that advantage. It's not like you're poking him out, right? Gnar is doing fine in the lane just by playing it slowly, whereas Aurelia needs to win these all-ins, and last game, Xmithie played around that. He was in the top lane constantly, and sometimes that gets into your mind. You start to doubt yourself even when there are opportunities to go for it because you're like, well, what if the jungler's sick?
Well, more adaptation as well from Team Liquid. Gragas picked up by Dardoch and Cassio, which was banned in game 1, but picked there for Team Liquid.
Very fearsome first round here from Team Liquid. I like this answer a lot. The game that Team Liquid won in the previous series versus CLG was all around Fenix's Cassiopeia. He absolutely smashed Huhi. That champion has a lot of kill pressure in the mid lane, and even the ability to get kills when she's getting ganked. With Dardoch also being on the Gragas, the playmaker, that just screams more mid lane focus, more mid lane control from Team Liquid. They're gonna go right back to it and see if they can have better luck this time around.
Well, you want playmaking.
I was gonna say, yeah, Aphromoo's Karma's banned out, great, because people like seeing playmaking from Aphromoo. People like it when Aphromoo has these tools in his champion where he's either on the front line as a melee champion, the Alistar he's known for, or the Bard, the fantastic Bard. He was one of the first North American LCS supports to really be known for the champion, and now they have it with the Ashe as well. A lot of long-range playmaking abilities.
I also really like it in combination with the Gnar. If you're able to set up a good ultimate on some of these carries, it can allow time for Darshan to get in there with the Mega Gnar, be on top of him, and set up the CC combo.
Well, Ashe priority as well for CLG. We've seen a lot of focus around this pick, so I like that takeaway there for them as well. Team Liquid looking for their next few picks here. Fabbbyyy, we've seen a lot of Ashe Jhin from him. It would make sense to go back to this sort of pick. Looks like they might just lock down the bottom lane. It's Braum Jhin for picks 3 and 4.
Ooh, this was one of my first and favorite duos that I ever saw Team Liquid pick up when Fabbbyyy first joined the team.
Yeah.
They played so much Jhin Braum, and they got kills level 1. They got kills in invades, so there's definitely some level 1 flexibility here from Team Liquid as well that I really like. Maybe they could just get this one started off a lot earlier and try and even up the series here in game number 2. It looks to me like Team Liquid, at least in the pick ban phase, have been able to refocus and kind of throw out that game 1. It doesn't look like they're tumbling down the tilt path, but we shall see here as CLG get the last 2.
CLG just trying to lock down these last few picks. Aphro's having some fun. Stixxay is hovering his favorite Warwick. 10 seconds now for CLG to lock in this draft.
I do expect, Rek'Sai and something else to come in here, but on Team Liquid side, I also want to mention Gragas pick for Dardoch. He has a lot of experience playing in the 2-on-2 with Lourlo, and if Lourlo does want to go that Aurelia, you're talking about all-inning. Gragas is so good at all-inning Gnar because he can interrupt the hop. You can't hop on the jungler, which is one of the main escape paths, because Body Slam will interrupt it, and they could, go that way. Maybe you think, oh yes, obviously they want to play around mid lane. They've got Cassiopeia, so much late game damage, but possibilities for Dardoch are very wide here. All 3 lanes look like very gankable lanes, and he's on a very good early ganking jungler. And he is also one of the most outspoken people on the team, so a lot of weight on Dardoch's shoulders, I think, for this game number 2 to bring their team back and avoid that tilt and that snowball that people have begun to associate with them.
Really standard end to the draft as well. You can see Victor for Huhi and Rek'Sai that you predicted. Aurelia also going to be back into Lourlo's hands, so TL kind of end this the way we expected to, but again, very solid comps for the 2 teams once again.
I think it's going to be really tough in this matchup because for Xmithie, do you take into consideration how last series went when he was on the Cassiopeia? Are you trying to play around Huhi and protect him? Because I don't think that Victor necessarily has the best gank assist in this, and at the same time, you have to defend your top laner from these all-in. So there's a lot of different places that he can go, and also your bot lane wants to push in. That makes them susceptible.
From a jungler's perspective, I would say mid lane vision control from Xmithie. Just use your tremor sense to make sure that it's safe for you to go place the vision, and then that allows you to go place forward-facing wards. That's one of the best things about Rek'Sai. She can actually be pretty confident when she's going to place the early wards and just rely on that rather than trying to camp for him.
Well, it could lead to a lot of emphasis on scuttles as well.
Don't forget to keep the votes rolling in though as we move into game 2 of the series. Hashtag CLG or TL win, depending on who you are feeling. TL did barely win the first game fan vote. We'll see if the CLG fans are feeling a little more alive now that they've won the first game. But in the best of 5, it is a long road for either of these two teams in the series. Can TL tie it up, or are CLG going to put themselves in the best possible position to play TSM? We're going to have to find out. So out into the rift for game number 2.
Oh yeah. Already looking ahead to TSM. That is a daunting task.
Can't think about it now.
We get to that, yes. This series just started, my friend.
And Matt actually... okay, never mind. It just hadn't showed up yet. The trinket wasn't showing on there, and I was like, what? What's happening there? But anyway, trinket shows up.
Yeah, that's a spectator thing. Freak talked about it a little ways ago. Anyways, everybody opening up to standard defensive openings here. We'll see if there's any early invades. I mentioned in Champion Select the possibilities that are opened up when you have Braum and Braum plus Jhin especially for level 1s, but it doesn't look like Team Liquid are trying to go aggressive super early on. Maybe that's a choice that, we don't want to be too risky in the level 1 of game 2 after losing game 1, because if you lose something like that, then it's very disheartening. And they might just want to kind of calm down a little bit.
I actually like the adaptations in bot lane. So those wards in the bushes are not that standard, but what this is that it's saying, okay, we're going to take our jungle camp, and then when we come to lane, sometimes the response is actually to be camping that and kind of cheese them out and push them off the wave so you can get level 2 first anyway. Now this prevents that, so they can safely take their camp and go to lane.
Especially with a double ranged into a melee ranged duo lane here. That could be so much bottom lane control. And we've talked about how important bottom lane control is in the new patch and how easily it snowballs into early first turret kill.
Well, looks like we're going to have a trait of objectives here as Aphro and Stixxay going to start off on their Krug camp, Gromp over on the TL side, and junglers will be starting on the same side of the map once again around that top area. So blue for Xmithie, red for Dardoch. We'll see if they do actually move down to that bottom lane and at least try and show themselves a bit and apply some pressure.
Also be interested to see if Xmithie wants to kind of do one of those interesting paths where you go Gromp, Wolves, Wraiths, get 3, and you can always do those really fast level 3 ganks on mid, whereas Gragas is going to be a little bit slower doing the red.
Yeah, or even the alteration as we've seen Meteos do a lot. Priority on the Scuttle Crabs that you talked about in Champ Select. The vision may be of extremely high importance here. As of right now, though, is just doing the quick 3 camp, get level 3, and that gives you a lot of dueling power as well.
Let's see what he wants to do, but Fenix and Huhi going to match up once again. Huhi off to an early level 2 hit, but Fenix now going to hit it. Darshan and Lourlo trading up again. We saw Darshan win this lane pretty early on, and then the help came and he was able to snowball it out of control. Lourlo struggling a little bit versus the mini now, but now he's back in Mega. Lourlo should know how to navigate this matchup relatively well.
Yeah, this is actually a good place for Aurelia to sit. Because he still has 3 charges on Corrupting Potion, you want to sit just below the Gnar's health, so you always threaten the stun. And you have the regeneration and Corrupting Potion. You start chugging that as soon as you go for the trade. But meanwhile, let's look at that top lane. Looks like some moves here from Dardoch.
Yeah, Dardoch's going for this, but it's actually been anticipated. You can see that Aphro already warded out their blue. The fact that he's not there, I think they're going to try to play around this. He may see Xmithie go for it.
Well, the whole team has to buy into that play because Darshan is pushed up really far. We talked about you can't hop onto Gragas because he can body slam you. It's up to, Dardoch if he wants to go for that gank, but it does look to me like it would be an interesting choice to go for. The main thing dissuading him is the big amount of minions. If you go gank for a top laner, Obviously, it's great if they're pushed up, but the big amount of minions that Lourlo has to clean up.
Darshan, they've anticipated this completely.
God.
He's actually going to try to get over onto Dardoch, and Dardoch is far up. This could be a bit awkward for him.
Darshan actually hops over the wall, but Dardoch doesn't really have anywhere to run. He's going to try and finish
This is
off the
looking
camp,
bad.
maybe? He's got no other friends. He hits level 4, but Darshan's still keeping him zoned away.
Darshan just needs to block the body slam.
Doesn't quite do it there. Now going to keep chasing in. Needs one more hyperproc. Auto gets cancelled.
That's why you always take the scuttle before going for an invade. It gives you a secure escape path. The extra speed there, he doesn't end up having to blow flashes, and he just takes a little bit of harassment on his way out. I have to say, good job there by Dardoch not panicking under pressure when he's been cornered by the Gnar. Also, that bought time for Lourlo to pick up all those minions that we mentioned were at the turret, and right now he's jumped right back out into an actual CS lead. It'll be up to Darshan to even that lead back up with these range minions that are currently sitting in the lane. And it's pretty much just evened up that top lane and minion count.
Certainly has, but the question is now, can Darshan set up a freeze, right? You have all these range minions here, and it doesn't look like he's going to elect to go for that, but you know, even at the same time, Xmithie did pick up extra camps on the other side of the map because he took the wolves away and just left one of the little ones up. So, you know, I like the try there from Darshan, and had it not been so well played from Dardoch, that could have been first blood potentially.
In the meantime, Xmithie also cleaned out Dardoch's blue side of the jungle, so did get some extra farm there. Darshan, nice little play, gonna delay Dardoch, and looks like he's off to a pretty nice start here. Once back in the lane, still Lourlo kind of struggling to get onto these minions. Mini Gnar again, such an annoying range champion. Yeah,
there's that freeze that you were mentioning. It is really nice to get it. You don't want it to get too big. So he was clearing out a few of them with the AoE, so you don't have to fight in a whole bunch of ranged minions, and keep it a little bit flexible, but still keep it right in front of your turret. Both junglers here.
Yeah, Dardoch could be here for the counter gank. Xmithie potentially looking, is going to back off, and now Darshan is going to have to be careful.
Yeah, Darshan actually tanking some minion damage there just to keep the freeze going. Dardoch, though, still in Lourlo's back pocket. And Xmithie, I think he's leaving the area. Now it's 1v2 for Darshan.
Flashes are available.
Dun lands in, flashing from Dardoch. Darshan gonna get first blood, and he burns his flash, but Lourlo claims it.
That flexibility as far as Dardoch and the duo we talked about, if Lourlo goes for the Aurelia into the Gnar matchup and you have to all in, it is there, right out of the side lane bush. CLG knew it was a possibility, but doesn't matter. They don't play around it. Dardoch gets the first kill for Lourlo there, and they're looking for two.
And the TP back is going to mean they can't go for it, but it's critical as well. Darshan actually blew his flash. Lourlo has not used his, which means if they end up in a 1v1, big advantage to Lourlo.
CS lead, first blood lead for Aurelia. That makes this matchup extremely difficult and very different from game number 1. Now he's going to be much quicker to the Trinity Force, has that level 6 and teleport advantage. He's walking back to lane, giving up minions. Bottom lane is going to have to be careful too. They're playing really far up. If there's a minion very deep or a ward very deep, they can teleport the Aurelia in. As soon as they hit level 6, Jhin has the ultimate. It gets very dicey down there.
Look at mid lane. Talking about Fenix's domination in the mid lane, he's opened up a bit of a lead for himself. Some of that will be recouped here by Huhi, but bot lane going very well for CLG. Fabbbyyy with some of the worst laning statistics in the league, and they are kind of getting manhandled right now in this 2v2. It's minions to collect for Stixxay.
Now we'll see where that teleport is used for Lourlo on the top side.
They're looking.
Almost 6 as well for Ash. Fabbbyyy going to get knocked up there, slowing onto Matt. Aphromoo flashing in there, I think, to try and get some damage out. Xmithie does claim it.
Late teleport.
Matt actually gets arrowed as well. Really going to arrive a little too late. Magical Journey should keep them safe. Nice burrow onto Lourlo. CLG.
I think there's some lack of communication there, because maybe as soon as you see Rek'Sai, if he starts channeling the teleport, it dissuades them, or the all-in doesn't happen. But the breakdown there, worst of both worlds. They use the teleport, and the kill goes over to Counterlogic Gaming.
It only gets worse, too, because Lourlo TP'd away from a massive stack of minions, so he gives up that farm advantage. Already, a lot of these have been cleared out. It's 2 to 3 waves. He's losing top side for that TP.
I mean, that's the difference between top laner perspective and jungler perspective.
The minions, Kobe! It's all about the minions!
Dardoch is at least collecting them, I suppose, so they won't go entirely to waste, but Lourlo,
like we said, that's a waste. Just go to that jungler. It's all about top lane.
Lourlo will suffer in the matchup. Darshan up 10 CS. Xmithie might even be tracking his way, and CLG once again, they've swapped their dual lane to the top lane here.
Yeah, Xmithie actually going for an invade here as well, taking away the red because Dardoch spent so much time showing at the turret. Aphromoo is going to come try and help him as well, but 3 versus 4 on the top side. Versus 5. Everyone from CLG is here. They're making another big play on the top side to force the early turret.
They certainly are, but TL has anticipated. Matt is already here, and Mega Gnar does expire. I don't think CLG is going to pull the trigger.
A little bit failed move as the rest of Team Liquid are going to arrive. So CLG need to know they missed their window. Don't try and force it now. The window's a bit closed. Fabbbyyy is on the way. He might actually be a bit too long.
This is risky.
Yeah, CLG are committing to the push. Actually, Fabbbyyy very late to this potential engage, but Team Liquid looks like they've held strong under the turret. Xmithie, though, caught out position. Gonna get blasted away by the ultimate from Dardoch.
You caution against it. Hey, the window's closed. Back off. Xmithie didn't get the memo there, going for the extra counter jungle, and Team Liquid punish him. This is, again, another thing that we saw in the last series with Team Liquid and CLG. Xmithie going for a little bit of extra counter jungling, staying around too long and giving kills back over to Team Liquid. Look at that gold. Now it's back to dead even, and this is anybody's game.
Certainly some disrespect there from Xmithie, and I love the adaptation from TL. When they saw the base, they anticipated this and they sent Matt topside. Had he not been there, they could have perhaps executed a dive very quickly, and it would have looked reminiscent to last game.
Well, it looks like CLG, once again, we're trying to out-macro Team Liquid, but Liquid answer well, hold their top outer turret here, and we're actually going to hold these lanes still in the 2v2, but we'll flip things upside down for a little bit. Darshan is bottom lane there, going to continue his 1v1 versus Lourlo and the Aurelia, and Fenix are going to get himself a blue, has been charging up quite a lot of CS and that tier, so looking good for the Liquid mid laner.
And if it's looking good for Fenix, it's looking bad for CLG, because Fenix has historically been able to carry a lot of the team fights in the Team Liquid CLG matchups, especially Cassiopeia with the lead, highest CS in the game, plus he got one of those kills up on the top side. As you mentioned, double buffs as well, everything going his way right now, and it's going to be up to Team Liquid to play around him. Yes, Fabbbyyy is losing in the AD carry down bottom in the CS wars, but he's the Jhin. He's usually got low damage numbers anyway, and he's going to try and keep his distance.
One thing critical to note, though, Fenix did not take cleanse, which a lot of people like to do against the Ashe. When you do not have cleanse, you have to respect those arrows coming in, and CLG pushing for turret first blood.
Yeah, try number 2 here for CLG. There's no turret was taken in.
If at first you don't succeed, Kobe.
There you go.
Ooh, ulti hits Fabbbyyy actually there. Aphromoo able to nail him with a tempered fate. Arrow lands it. Stun is perfect, and Xmithie gonna CC chain him to death. Matt now getting low. Xmithie still chasing in, but Dardoch could even be in trouble. Phoenix. Aptly named Prey Seeker.
And they've still got a huge minion wave to work with. They can take more. CLG continue the push.
Then it's Darshan with the TP. Lourlo doesn't have one. They can look for a dive here.
Huhi in trouble, but Dardoch can't quite do enough. Xmithie still keeping them under threat. Fenix does have his ulti, and CLG do have to book it. Stixxay got tagged. Now Fenix wants to chase it. Flushes out of the stun. Ulti gets duked around by Stixxay. Are you kidding me? It's not enough, though. It's Fenix able to still collect him, but the damage is done. Huhi gonna turn it around.
Now CLG needs to not overstay. We saw that mistake from Xmithie last time. TL has respawned. He needs to get out.
Looks like they've got out. Darshan getting low versus Lourlo, though, who's maybe bullying things around a bit with that early fade. Looks like Darshan does need to go back and shop. But CLG, once again, they'll start a team fight and they'll get the turret for it.
Would be critical if Darshan has to use his TP here. He doesn't want to fall too far behind. But back to the fight.
All right, so those long-range tools we talked about, Aphro does get the initiation. There they double up on the stuns, but it doesn't matter because Xmithie's there too. They have a plethora of CC to lock down the bottom lane. This right here, Dardoch walks out of the way to dodge, and Mac walks kind of into it. That's one of those things where you're like, oh yeah, dodge the bullet. Oh, sorry about you standing right behind me, bud, and you were low, so unlucky for
my
you.
bad. A little bit like last game. Everyone stepping out of the way, not blocking for Fabbbyyy. It's like they're playing for themselves and not for the team.
Good callback right there. Bringing up the old wounds.
I mean, talk about CLG always being a united squad. Team Liquid gonna have to show a little bit more teamwork there with some body blocks as Matt does get sniped out of the way. Darshan did save that teleport as well. Actually waddles his way back down to the bottom lane, so he's going to be okay. But Lourlo has had a much better time in this 1v1 lane, and you have to think Aurelia this time should be positioned to win the matchup.
Yeah, if we're going to talk about the strong points for Team Liquid, it is Lourlo and it is Fenix. That is how they need to play around this game. Lourlo still, there are a lot of minions in front of his turret. Even though the CS difference isn't really showing right now, it's going to increase a lot as Gnar is moving up to the mid lane, and CLG are trying to make a team play, whereas Lourlo here does have teleport, but it might be difficult for them as CLG are closing in with everybody. Gnar bar kind of timing out.
They may also try to be playing around the fact that Fenix has no summoners. He blew them both aggressively. He's a point of power, but you can pick on him now because he is susceptible.
Well, CLG actually just going to keep trimming waves by the looks of things, moving through this top left-hand side of the jungle, trying to threaten Team Liquid Red. Stixxay is getting things pushed up here. Going to try and get the minions in towards the tier 2. And Xmithie, again, a little greedy on the play, but his team is here to protect him. Dardoch body slams his way out to safety, and Xmithie should be able to claim the red buff here. Xmithie blocks it off. He does get it.
No, Dardoch stole it away.
Yeah, Team Liquid actually have to be very careful because...
Oh, Fabbbyyy does block out of the way. Arrow not going to hit, but that
Ulti opening up.
Xmithie moving forward. The bullets are there, and Fenix going to get the counter kill onto Xmithie. Aphromoo slowed down as well. Ulti's 4 members. Or 3, doesn't quite get himself.
Uh-oh, Lourlo in trouble, though.
Darshan going to keep chasing, does have his flash. That boulder toss, though, going to go straight into the minions.
That is the picture-perfect way that Team Liquid want to play team fights. Fabbbyyy is in the back on Jhin, gets the free fire, the ultimate, and Fenix is right there behind Dardoch on the front lines, dealing damage with Cassiopeia. He's trying to save this game, and he's pulling them back.
He is, but I do like that CLG do not back away from the game plan. Yes, they lost that battle, but they go straight to mid, try to get some chip damage in, and here's the fight once again. After Dardoch won that smite steal, they look for more.
Fabbbyyy flashes the arrow, Fenix moves into the front, and then Fabbbyyy opens up with the snipe. They catch CLG out and get the 2 kills that we saw there. As you said, right after that, CLG rotating over. Look at all the wards that they have as well. They should be able to predict movements here from Team Liquid moving forward and avoid that occurrence again.
Impressive, though, from Darshan to almost solo out Lourlo, despite the fact that we thought that Lourlo might be getting an edge in the matchup. Lourlo again going to get things turned around on, does burn the ultimate, chunk out the wave. Darshan about to go mega, going to have to be careful.
Yeah, everybody here from Team Liquid is down on the bottom side, too. They're looking to make one of those power plays on the turret and try and answer some gold. Ashe coming down the lane with arrow, but it doesn't look like they have enough to stall. It looks like they're actually just trying to do 2 objectives at once to make CLG choose which one to defend.
Xmithie may go for the steal. He is looking.
So choosing 2 at once kind of forces CLG to choose which one to defend, but it means that Team Liquid actually don't have enough to get either objective. They get a little damage on both, and that's not going to do a whole lot for them as the pressure on top side's working against them.
And they want to answer that. You don't want to just give up all these minions that are now crashing into the turret. So it's a little bit time on the side of CLG, and it's going to be Lourlo having to back, which means they may have to sacrifice Dragon because he has no TP.
And again, that strong macro game from CLG starting to show up here in the middle of it. Infernal Drake is a possibility, but Team Liquid have the Scuttle Crab control, so instead CLG, they'll consolidate their lanes, they'll get some pressure down, as Lourlo is forced to answer that top lane with no teleport. We'll see if CLG want to force something. Xmithie is going to ulti back into the rift.
I think the chances are 90+% that CLG force this Infernal because they are timing the teleport.
Oh! Hit Dardoch. Darshan going to try and hyper him down. Still ordering in. Aphromoo doesn't quite land the stun, but he doesn't need it. Huhi going to get the kill with the ultimate.
And with the jungler down, the Infernal Dragon can be unlocked here, but right now they're pushing for mid. Xmithie's looking.
Darshan charging up, about to go mega. Great gravity field, actually finds 2. Now Darshan's in, looks for the nub, but he gets stunned up. Still scoops 2 back as Lourlo flashes out of the way, but Xmithie flashes aggressively. That might be too much as Jhin gonna start to open up Fabbbyyy, hitting Huhi in the face. Damage is there, but Fenix burns the ulti to keep them out of the way. CLG will flash to safety, but they did get the mid turret.
Yeah, I got a little bit sloppy there. They saw a big chunk. Hey, pretty easy gravity field setup here, so, Huhi gets the big chunk, but then maybe a little bit disconnected on the all-in turret dive there from CLG. Does go not according to plan, however, they recover right afterwards, and they're able to stabilize and still get the 2 objectives. Definitely could have been cleaner, though.
Yeah, while they are falling a little bit flat on some of these fights, they're still winning in objectives, and the flash being forced out there from Dardoch, the arrow does land, and they commit in true CLG fashion. Everyone moving in for this kill.
Ultimate use, he's done, and then they're able to get the objective. We thought it was going to be a clinical turret steal here, but this is just too juicy. The double backline gravity field are like, oh my goodness, we're in on this, right? Says Darshan, but everyone else was kind of still on turret killing duty, and then they have this step-by-step engage where Xmithie kind of goes later. Huhi then charges the Jhin to force Fabbbyyy to close up shop and stop sniping. Then he flashes out on the Cassiopeia ultimate, and we'll see how it settles out here.
They're actually pinging down onto Fabbbyyy, who has been someone who's really been getting picked on. He's down over 40 CS, Ashe ult available.
Well, looks like Fabbbyyy is going to have to play carefully here. CLG did also secure the Infernal Drake after that turret, so objectives still firmly in the front of their minds here as Team Liquid are kind of forced to react to CLG's plays here, it feels like. They're running around, they're defending reasonably well, but CLG are constantly pushing the tempo of this game.
Yeah, and one thing with that tempo that they want to try to stop is Lourlo. He's up 30 CS. He has his Triforce much faster this game than last game, and he's in the advantage both in levels and in items.
Yeah, it's crazy how the same story is still holding true for Team Liquid. They're like Fenix and Lourlo, points of power. However, CLG as a team have the lead. They have the lead in objectives. They have the lead in overall gold for the rest of the members. And they have had the lead in team play. The coordination in these fights, even though they were unable to make the dive successful, they recovered very quickly, and they still came out ahead overall.
And it's a macro play that you had spoken to. You're talking about, yes, it's standard lanes. There is no lane swap, but it is rotations. It's moving around the map. It's preparation for objectives with vision and with the foresight to be in the right place at the right time.
Well, you can see Darshan and Lourlo still doing battle there in the top lane, but Darshan is going to be forced to play safely.
Yeah, can't enter a long lane against an Aurelia with a red buff. When she just completed her Triforce, that's a scary place to be.
Time to jungle.
Yeah, pick on someone
Maybe
your
not.
own size.
It's actually about the same size. Oh, goodbye, Harold. Darshan, I guess, just messing around with the Rift Herald.
Darshan
Nothing
wins
else
in
to
the
do.
end. He's still alive. Rift Herald isn't.
He one-shot it.
Yeah. He's trying to get Baron's favor. He's like, I'll clean out your pit for you before you arrive. It's all nice and spare. Make sure that we don't throw it later at this area, please.
In before Darshan steals a Baron. I'll call you a prophet as Darshan again, collecting what CS he can, but looks like even 1 versus 1 with no other attention right now. Darshan is going to have to play conservatively. Rest of the lanes are doing fine though. Fenix up still, but Huhi not too far behind and does have the 2 big items there for Victor. And Stixxay, huge lead there for him, just constantly farming waves with the Runins, and the Infinity Edge probably on the way as well.
I think that at this point, you know, Team Liquid should try and stay proactive. They actually are in the top lane, but that's not exactly what I was going to refer to. I was going to refer to bringing Fabbbyyy up the long lane, you know, with the rest of the team, you know, in the general area. They look for Jhin ult to actually start something off and pick CLG off. Try and be the ones to take the first move and get the initiative in the fight so that CLG are trying to recover constantly. If you keep them on the back foot, then maybe you can, you know, make this team goal deficit that you're working with a lot less by picking people off and catching them off guard.
Speaking of pickoffs, Stixxay is actually building towards Essence Reaver, going for that CDR type build, more about the initiations, more about, you know, keeping that mana high, spamming out those spells and looking for arrows than just the Infinity Age right now for the team fight damage.
Yeah, meanwhile, Fabbbyyy on the other side is peaking as far as the flat armor penetration. This is a really good, you know, peak. As soon as you get the Ghost Blade, which is 20, the only item in the game with that, then you get the extra Dirk for 10 more. You can really chunk out these squishies. And I feel like they should try and prey on CLG as they're spread out. It has not really come together, but they're kind of gravitating towards the bottom side now.
So much more pressure is being put on Fenix, though, because Fabbbyyy is down so much CS. He's going to have trouble. He can kill squishies, but can he deal with the front line, right? Can he deal with Xmithie and Darshan piling in? It's going to be Cassiopeia who has to do that. So a lot of pressure on Fenix, and it's going to be so scary for him if he ever gets caught by CC.
And that's the thing, CLG more than happy to play patient here. They're scaling up with the Ashe, they're scaling up with the Victor. Darshan, he is getting tanky now as he builds up towards that Randu and Zoman. Things are getting just fine here for CLG, and we've seen them play calm and collected around these objectives. 3-0 up in turret, up that first Infernal. There's another Drake for them to take in a minute 10. Team Liquid kind of needs something here, or CLG is going to keep moving forward in the game.
And you know what that something is? A turret. They have not killed a single turret in this game, so there's much less space for Team Liquid to work with. Yeah, they want to use this Jhin ultimate in a long lane, but the long lanes are all because Team Liquid have lost their outer turrets. CLG defenses are still strong, and that's why they can just farm here, get right back out to the outer turrets, and they've been holding.
TL, again, trying to keep vision around this area. Do have control right now, as they're going to collapse some tunnels as well. Xmithie going to find himself a blue trinket, but Matt busy ruining all his hard work there. Fenix definitely poised to make a big play here in this next team fight, but Dardoch goes in. He wants to make a play, but I think he's been caught instead. Arrowed by Stixxay, knocked up after he flashes, and Xmithie still chasing it as Matt. Good coverage there with the door. Fabbbyyy now going to try and snipe one out, but the ulti from Bard, he's going to shut that down.
Pink Ward survives. Check it off the list.
I don't know about this Drake, though, because the fighting is still occurring here, and whichever team comes out ahead as far as forcing the other ones off the field will be able to take an objective. Huhi's got the mid lane tracked here, though, and cuts off the entrance.
Yeah, they're looking to push for this tier 2, and Huhi with his ultimate is going to be very threatening for TL to funnel through.
TL have to be so careful here. Fenix is ready. Lourlo trying to find Stixxay. Doesn't have him in the backline. They're going to go in on him, but he will be exhausted. Darshan, though, going to get himself chased down. Forced to flash out as Lourlo books it in the top side as well. Oh, Darshan backing onto Fenix. They need to catch the Cassio, but they can't quite do it. And now Fabbbyyy looks forward, takes out Huhi.
Oh my god, what a scrappy fight there from Team Liquid, and they barely pull it out. That could be a big turning point for them. They're very low health, turning over to Inferno, and Stixxay has Ash Arrow ready. If he nails someone and they're spread out, they can just kill someone at the low health. There's even Xmithie, no smite actually.
This is risky. CLG trying to challenge, but they need to back off now. And that fight was the closest of margins. Fenix barely missed the wall with that Gnarl. He would have gone down.
Really clutching it there for Team Liquid. That was a crucial break point in this game and in this series. And they're faced with a really small area to get through, and they force it through. They brute force. Lourlo gets onto Stixxay. He has to flash away, but he gets the exhaust and 2 members following him. So Fenix can open up one.
Now watch this, Darshan. He ults him towards the wall, just barely misses there, did not get the stun. That would have meant a dead Fenix and perhaps a contestable dragon.
Yeah, good eye.
Smallest of margins.
That was very close to hitting the remnants of the turret there, and the extra stun would have been it.
Instead, it is Fenix that manages to clean house a bit there. 5-1-2 now on the Cassiopeia. We mentioned him being the big key to victory for Team Liquid, as almost always is the case. Cassiopeia is a frightening champion, and she just scales and scales. And Fenix is positioned to keep Liquid in this game and quite possibly take it over, as Team Liquid have closed the gap a bit. CLG are not that far ahead now.
Definitely would be incredibly important for Team Liquid to strike back and not fall down 0-2 in this series, and let that stuff start to play on their mentalities. Now they're in that comeback mood. They feel like they're underdogs. They're fighting back, and they've got a little bit of a morale boost here. See if who's the next person to get caught though, because Jhin and Ashe both ready to punish anybody out of position.
And 2 teams with very different strengths here. Top laner very ahead for TL. The AD carry for CLG very ahead. And they're going to have to play around that respectively. They must protect the Ashe. And at the same time, Lourlo has to get deep in these fights and take out either Huhi or Stixxay.
CLG cannot afford to have Lourlo flank right into Stixxay's face again. That was the big draw there, as Lourlo took 2 people out of the fight.
And Lourlo again going for that Blade of the Ruined King. Much better clip here as far as the overall itemization goes, and he's ripping through the turret. Team Liquid finally claim a turret in the game, and it is Lourlo starting to go on a solo rampage there in the top lane.
Uh-oh, down bottom though, CLG are looking to punish them for keeping Lourlo up there. Teleport is ready. There's a deep ward actually behind CLG.
Lourlo's just going to keep pushing though. TL feels like they can actually defend this and hold off the waves, and that's all they have to do. They're just buying time for the Liquid top laner.
CLG looking a little scattered for the first time really in the series. Lourlo starting to open up so much space, and this turret, I think it's just
gone.
Dead. Oh, it doesn't
He's getting nervous.
Yeah, he does have teleport if he really feels scared that they're going to catch him in time. He can't afford to get hit by the Ash Arrow, but he backs off early enough that the threat is not there, and a very big hold for Team Liquid, allowing them to get some standing gold from those turrets. Now the gold lead here is very, very minimal. It's all about the item completions, and most of those have come in for both teams, actually, for their second or third item.
It also means the Blade of the Rune King now completed for Lourlo, which is going to give him so much more 1v1 power against Darshan. And you can see Darshan is already trying to avoid this matchup. He's grouping with the team, and when you get into that mentality, when you have to be moving around as a 5-man squad, you fall behind in farm, you fall behind in XP, there's pressure to make plays. Thankfully for them, they have one of their best players, Aphro on a playmaker. They have the ability to try to look for these.
Stixxay getting stronger as well, and Huhi's actually now taken, or almost took the CS lead versus Fenix, had it very briefly, I believe, as they've been trading farm back and forth. So money is in the right places. Darshan pretty far behind his lane opponent, but he can certainly make an influence still. As this
They're looking to set up a pick here. They're trying to prey on Lourlo and his confidence.
This could be bad news here for Lourlo. He's starting to get slowed down. Darshan about to go mega as Aphro throws in the meat for another slow. Autos are still there. Darshan going to wait as long as possible. Wallop not going to connect, and Darshan now going to get danced around here. Lourlo is going to try and turn it around. Darshan scoops him back, but Lourlo going to force Aphro to flash away, and there's the spike. Not quite there. Dardoch here throws out the ulti for the kill, and now Darshan going to get it turned around. Lourlo dives under the turret, flashes, forward, and there's the kill.
Lourlo with the 1v2 calls the rest of the team down. They get the kills, and now they can swing back up to defend. CLG trying to punish them for sending everybody down there, though, and they get the turret out of mid lane. Can they escape with their lives?
I would still say it's worth it for Liquid, and Lourlo coming up huge has a massive advantage over Darshan.
Oh, that's way more than worth it. They got a turret down bottom as well, plus the 2 kills, and they have control of the map.
He's still pushing.
Yeah, their standing goal, as we talked about, yeah, being down in turrets hurts, but now they're reclaiming all of that turret gold.
Stixxay actually got tagged there. Jin gonna stun him up. Dardoch buffers through the arrow for the kill, and Matt able to take him down. Xmithie, you better tunnel out to safety, because Team Liquid are gonna chase ya.
When it rains, it pours here for Team Liquid. They are storming back into this game. Now they've got the lead. The Drakes were tied up. Now they even have Baron control here with the Scuttle Crab. Huge minion wave up top. A ridiculous swing in gold. If we'll look at the gold graph later, that is a huge spike here for Team Liquid. And off the back of Lourlo split pushing.
It's going to be hard for CLG now. What's the answer here? They need to look for hard initiations or try to have those 2v1s against Lourlo, but it just backfired. And they were trying to play into Lourlo's confidence. They know he's ahead. They know he can win the 1v1, so send 2 down. But look at this. He plays it so well. He's able to dash out of the first stun with his Q, and then Darshan is really hesitating to use the ult because he's worried he's going to get dodged too.
And you can see he's never giving Aphro a good spot to get the stun.
Yeah.
That's why Aphro held on to the stun for so long, because Lourlo did a really good job of dodging. And even though Aphromoo dodges that, he's not going to be able to dodge the barrel. And then Lourlo gets his reward for the 1 versus 2 play there and delaying the enemy. That's that synergy. Don't even look at me. All right, yeah, good job. I know it's a good job.
Another day in the office.
Focus on the game here, because we're in a very intense playoff series trying to come back.
And Lourlo actually took 2 turrets off the back of that huge 1v2 play as well. CLG going to try and answer back with a Cloud Drake here. They will get it, but things starting to heat up. TL take the gold lead, I believe, for the first time really in this game, and they're still fighting. Matt barely gets out from under the arrow, but CLG might still want it. Darshan looking for a flank. He's found Matt. Gonna hop forward, looking for Fabbbyyy. Xmithie gets a knocker, but a good ult from Dardoch might keep them away.
Aurelia coming in with the TP. It's canceled.
Xmithie actually is gonna Dustblade down, and now Aphromoo finds the 2 carries. Phoenix and Fabbbyyy need to turn it around. Darshan threatening with the Mega Nub, but Dardoch gonna keep him down. Dardoch goes back in, and Stixxay will take him down.
And that was so critical. Lourlo canceled his TP. They backed off the play, and they stuck around, allowing them to kill off Dardoch.
Yeah, that re-engage from Dardoch was definitely ill-advised, and we'll see if they pay for it more than that. It could just be a little bit of a stall to this game, but that's definitely not the best of choices.
Massive minion wave here in the bot lane that's going to need to be answered. They got summoners on many key targets here. With Fabbbyyy having nothing, they could look for something in mid lane. Arrow is up in 1 or 2 seconds.
It does put a stall. Oh, here we go. Teleport goes from Darshan. He's going to try and flank around Fabbbyyy.
Big play here. Arrow lands in, nails Fabbbyyy. Rest of the team not there. Aphromoo can't quite find in time. Does slow him down, but Darshan goes all the way in. Huhi managed to tag him. Fabbbyyy, they will get him, but Darshan taking damage. Huhi also getting done by Lourlo, but CLG peel and managed to take him down. Nah has gone down. Fenix flashes in, looking for more. Stixxay firing away. Gets 1, gets 2. A triple kill for Stixxay.
The wheels fall off for TL, and CLG can look to move to Baron. What a huge fight as Dardoch's caught.
Oh, bad news bears, but the ulti burns down. Gravity Field catches him. That's another one. Stixxay not gonna get him, but
disaster for TL in game 2.
Dardoch is going to be kicking himself after that one. He unnecessary re-engage, and it might even be the inhibitor. Calm down a little bit, because that was just gonna be the inhibitor plus Baron control here for CLG. They could probably get the Baron buff as well, but man, if Dardoch, the team fight there, re-engaged, loses him the mid lane, and then comes back immediately to die, wandering around mid lane. What a punish from CLG.
Very disjointed team fight there, as half the members are running out, half the members are runing in. You could feel the panic.
That poise that we talked about from CLG having...
Oh, he got Aphro! That was close.
Yes, it was.
Xmithie does get the ban for himself, though.
A little bit of a clincher. I thought he stole it with the Jin ulti.
I mean, this is why so many people put importance on the late game poise and the difference here. But there's the arrow. Great job by Stixxay landing it, and Aphromoo is just barely able to get off the slow. That allows Huhi to land his stun. Lourlo gets locked up as he tries to engage into the gravity field. This is a really big moment as well. Stixxay stands toe-to-toe with Fenix in the miasma. They get the double kills there, so he heals off it as well, doesn't go down. And then it is to the point where Dardoch's just, oh my god, I messed up so bad. I'm sorry, guys, I'm sorry. But he's wandering around here, and he gives away even more into the very edge of the gravity field there to drop again.
He actually body slammed a minion there, which interrupted it. And there, although Fenix was going for an aggressive play, and it was good job by Stixxay, Fenix misplayed. He flash ultied Xmithie. One man flash ulti on Xmithie. If that was pointed towards Stixxay, Stixxay dies. They win that fight. So some over aggression there, trying to make up for mistakes of his teammates.
And to make matters worse, a QSS and an Infinity Edge have now been finished for Stixxay. So the Ashe well and truly online. A CLG Baron in power looking to close out game 2 versus TL.
Well, they're going to definitely close out this top turret as they move in with a big amount of minions. Team Liquid, though, they have had surprises.
They still do have a lot of strength on their solo laners, and look for Fenix to try to come up big here. Has no flash, though. Must be careful about these initiations.
We'll see, just started here for CLG, but Team Liquid, pretty good wave clear. CLG, they're happy to play patient. Big wave bottom lane is causing some stress for CLG.
Arrow is available, so is the Bard ulti. They need to play it slow.
Stixxay, again, just firing pot shots in. Mid inhibitors down as well, so CLG know they have pressure coming in here. CLG just have to be careful not to get caught.
Yeah, I really like the Guardian Angel vibe from Lourlo. He knows it's all in on the next team fight.
Yeah.
And that provides you a huge boost in a single team fight, but we'll see if it's enough because Team Liquid's inhibitor turret is slowly whittling down and won't last much longer.
Well, CLG again just continuing the siege. They've got 2 Baroned up crews. Dardoch looks for the flash, doesn't get it, gets arrowed instead. Damage is coming through. Ulti gets Darshan back in, but he hops out to safety. Fabbbyyy gonna start opening up now with the ultimate, but cancelled again by the Bard. Tower is low. CLG 1 hit away. Darshan needs another auto, does weave it in. And CLG now poised again to try and do damage as these mid-Nexus turrets starting to take pain as well.
CLG just needs to play it slow. The Nexus is already under fire here, but look at the chunk onto Lourlo from Huhi.
Bad news here. Team Liquid starting to lose ground here. The 2 minutes actually take out 1. CLG looking the top inhib as well. This is going all wrong for Team Liquid today. Their base is falling to pieces.
Communication breakdown here for Team Liquid as they were just starting to have their resurgence in this game and have some control as well. That one fight really snowballed against them into a couple of misplays from a couple of different people. And now CLG are feeling very confident in their position.
And it speaks to the poise, to the shot calling of CLG, staying calm when behind, always looking for a way to win.
The importance of these veteran in-game leaders, and Aphromoo specifically has been doing this job for so long with CLG, directing early in-game macro play, but most importantly, it's the experience with the late game situations, where it's super tense like this, where one team fight can mean the difference between winning this game, going 2 up in a series, and so much momentum.
They have to be careful. Ashe Arrow is available. Oh, they catch them, and Aurelia's not here yet.
Spider onto 2. They tie up the carries. Aphromoo tries to stun them up as Xmithie kind of fighting off Dardoch. CLG just throwing poke in. Don't need to commit. Team Liquid still trying to stop this Elder Dragon.
Games have been won and lost, definitely, between these 2 teams at Elder Dragon, even with the team significantly behind.
Flash
over.
Back to game 3 earlier this season. This is where the turnaround came, and it was CLG behind. They won the fight. Liquid could look to do the same.
Too many problems though for Team Liquid. Mid lane now they have to go to attend to it. Top pushing with the supers there in both those lanes, and the bottom wave is built up. CLG have got themselves control around the objective. Team Liquid, this is make or break time.
They're not starting off the Elder Dragon though. They're just looking for a pick here, waiting for the Ashe Arrow to come back up. That cooldown reduction you'd mentioned.
Such a short cooldown at this point.
And TL have to play this so carefully. They're only going to get 1 shot, if any. Huhi poking out Dardoch. And Xmithie again just waiting around. CLG have now started the Elder Dragon.
The arrow is available. It's only a 48-second cooldown at this point in the game. They can look to turn for the fight. It's risky to trade for this 50-50 smite.
Team Liquid has to go though. CLG just gonna, again, stay patient here. The Dragon actually resets. Xmithie's still taking damage.
Dardoch is on the side. He wants to go for the steal. CLG needs to make a call.
They split up.
Actually, CLG are the ones with time working in their favor. Look at the minions. All they need to do is delay. They don't even have to make the call. It's Team Liquid. The onus is on them, and they have to go for the minions. CLG wait them out. Now they'll try and claim the reward. Dardoch, miracle steal?
That's all you get. Dardoch goes in, doesn't get it. And now he's just going to get shredded to pieces. 5v4 as CLG claim the Elder Dragon and force Fenix to flash.
And that is critical. The base is cracked open. They have the Elder Dragon. They are empowered with this buff for 2 minutes. They are going to look to push down bot, crack the last inhibitor.
Not going to need 2 minutes, I don't think. CLG going to claim the tier 2 in bottom lane. Xmithie going to go back and use the ulti. CLG not going to move out just yet. They have some business to attend to. Mid inhib did respawn, but I don't think it's going to last too much longer.
They're looking to end the game with this buff. There's no Nexus turrets available. Xmithie rejoining the team. We're going to need a miracle fight here from Fenix, who has no summoners.
Team Liquid will see what they can do. Fabbbyyy opening up with the ultimate, but Xmithie going to try and stop him. There's Lourlo in the backline, looks to assassinate Aphromoo, not going to get it. Gets through the bit of rubble, and now the GA's popped in for Lourlo. Xmithie straight into the backlines, just tying them up, but Lourlo is going to go down. Xmithie is so tanky, and CLG just get a free fire in the Nexus. Darshan scoops up everybody as CLG going to start to go wild in the base of Team Liquid. Nexus hopefully though, it's going to go down, and a chaotic end to game 2. CLG up 2-0.
What a comeback from CLG. Very different game 1 and game 2. You saw the game plan working for Team Liquid in the second game. They got ahead, but it was individual mistakes, miscommunications, which cost them and flipped this game on its head.
In-game focus for CLG and discipline in the late game has been the advantage that has been winning them games. CLG, they're a team that have actually practiced on purpose playing from behind in scrims significantly. They get behind on purpose, then they play from behind. They're very well accustomed, to try what are the next steps to do to get back into a game. Whereas Team Liquid, as we said, during the normal season, if they ever had a goal deficit at 20 minutes, they lost that game.
And unfortunately for them, it kind of worked out the other way there. But with the series standing at 2